seemed like you were happier there with the effort towards the end of practice, at least.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you saw the penalties second day running a new cadence, and they don't show up, which is part of why you have that day you have yesterday is to live and learn, right? Today was a much-cleaner practice, both sides of the ball. Today was scripted for offensive success, right? And they had some success, which was great. Defense, it was scripted for overcoming adversity. The first group did a solid job with that. Obviously, we just got to get in better football shape, that's part of practicing. That's why we're out here. We got 2 more weeks.
What will tomorrow look like?
Tomorrow will be a modified scrimmage. We'll all be on the same sideline, so it'll be more game-like with kickoffs, punts, punt returns, mid-series. So we'll actually play it like a game, as opposed to how we've done special teams in the middle, right? We'll do some special teams work at the beginning, and then we'll play it like a game with everybody on one sideline.
Will you narrow down to a pretty clean 2 deep after classes start, or when?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say 2 deep. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, 2 or 3 deep, right? We'll start to get our look squads together to give some looks for future opponents once classes starts, 100%.
How do you feel the battles between the DBs and the receivers? I mean, of just growing in practice, it looks like, one's really not getting the upper hand on the other, they're just battling back and forth.
Yeah, it's good work. I mean, you can hold a good football team, good position groups, by the same group doesn't win every time. It's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Because if one group's wins every time, it means the other group, isn't making that group better. So that group becomes complacent. When you have back and forth victories, right, that's how everybody gets better and everybody gets challenged daily. So I think that group, those 2 groups specifically, you see that back and forth, back and forth.
Coach, I know you've talked about Ro Torrance's leadership. Just when did you kind of see that come about?
I think summer, and then he showed up early in fall camp. But I'll say this, a corner that has had an unbelievable camp, Ed Woods. Ed Woods, he's a different person. Like his mindset, he's a different person. He comes out every day with a smile on his face now, right? Ready to work. And that's somebody that I could put in the foxhole with, and I feel great. I feel great having Ed Woods on our team. I feel great having Ed Woods on the field, right? Because that dude cares.
You spoke to the team yesterday about having passion and wanting to see more of that. You're a very passionate guy yourself. I'm curious, what motivates you to have so much passion? Where does that come from within yourself?
Well, one, I like to win. I hate losing, right? And that doesn't mean if we lose, it's not okay, but it is. I just care that we give effort. I hate people who just concede defeat in anything. Fight. If I go and play basketball, I don't want to play versus somebody who's just as talented as me. I'm trying to be on the team that sucks and win. That's what drives me. Not being on the team that's good and beat the team we're better than. I want to be on the team that has to crawl and scratch and fight and compete and scrap to win the game. And I want to play and 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 play till we win. That's what motivates me. That's how I'm driven. That's how I've always been. It's not fun beating somebody you're better than, right? It's necessary because you should just be your very best. What's competitive is when you rise up to those occasions. You can only do that if you're prepared for adversity. If you're okay with saying, man, I'm going to give it my all and fail. But so many people are scared to fail nowadays that when they face adversity, they give up before they allow themselves to fail because they're too scared to fail. It's okay to fail as long as you respond. And that's what these last 2 days have been about. That's what about 4 of our practices in camp have been about. It's about you're going to fail, respond.
Was that instilled within you from a young age from your parents? Because you have such a unique passion to you. I'm just curious how that came to be ever since you were young.
We just competed in everything we did. We competed in hearts. We competed in spades. We competed in dominoes. We competed in Mario Kart. I mean, we just competed. That was how I was raised. There's no fun. Watching a movie, great. That's boring. I'm going to fall asleep. Okay, no offense to movies. I'm going to fall asleep, right? Put me in a spades game, right? I'll be awake all night. I'll never leave the table. Because that's just how I was wired, right? I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm not saying one way is right or one way is wrong. That's just who I am.
How do you feel about your run defense at this point?
I feel pretty good about it when we're fresh. When we get tired, right, that's when the challenges occur. But when we're fresh, I feel good about, the first 5 to 6 guys in there, in the core.
The depth of the middle of your D-tackle.
Yeah, that's the challenge is the depth. And we got to get in better shape. That way we can, we don't have the depth right now. Really, as a football team, we're not a super deep team right now, so we've got to be in good enough shape, to keep our best 11 on the field as much as possible.
What are some of the
outfit change intentional? Going from
No, I actually came back from Camp T, and my yellow hoodie was still being washed or something before practice, so I went to the next hoodie. All right, so I really don't care what I wear. Like, they ask me about jerseys, and I'm like, I don't care. We'll ask the players. Like, I have no swag. I have no drip. I don't care about any of that stuff. None of it matters to me. I'll wear the same thing every day, ever, if I could. Right, so none of that stuff matters to me.
Coach, you were talking about conditioning a second ago and that being a bit of a challenge. What are some of the biggest difficulties conditioning the team and keeping them fresh out in this heat and in this
Well,
environment?
I think there's a balance. You got to push them in series of time, right, when we're out in the field. But this next 2.5 weeks leading up to game week, we're going to take a lot off of them days-wise. There's going to be a lot of days of rest. So when we're on the field, we're going to push them to a point, past the points that they're used to get their conditioning up. So when it's go time on game day, they've had a 600 workload, right, which is what we had the other day. And then on days off, we rest their legs. So we're just we'll have that balance of more days off moving forward with higher workloads throughout practice.
Overall, how happy are you with how they're coming along physically with Coach Connolly in the strength room and everything?
I'm really happy with our guys. I mean, I think our guys care. I mean, I think they're giving what they believe is great effort. And our job as a staff is to never be satisfied. If I come out here and every single day it's rose and candy canes, great job, right? Am I actually making them better? No, I've got to challenge them. I've got to put them in situations to challenge them. But I've been so happy with our guys. Our guys care. Our guys are passionate. Our guys are trying to do everything right? And it's our job as a staff to continue to elevate their own expectations for what it should look like. I think we're slowly raising that.
Coach, one of the standout performances to me this camp has been freshman Keith Abney. What have you seen kind of in this first camp out here, and what have you seen?
Well, I don't know if you all saw his roller derby on Twitter, right? He can roller. He's like a roller skating champion, right? And it's kind of funny because it shows up. He has such great strength and balance, right? That for a freshman, he has great strength, balance, that when you're on an island at corner and you're strong enough to hold up, and you have great balance and body control when the ball's in the air, right? He deflects a lot of passes, it causes a lot of chaos, and he's a super smart kid. So a freshman that's smart, balanced, and strong, that's a kid who can get on the field early.
Thanks, Coach. Last question. This team's approach when it comes to team captains.
Team captains, we voted for a leadership council. So we have about 18 guys, including freshmen, 15 upperclassmen in our leadership council. So I'll pick a captain group based off who we play out of that group every week.